Let me just say, I commend the courage of not only the whistleblower, but also my colleagues that are here, Dele and Bayo and all the others. This is a very, very serious issue. And it's an issue that touches and concerns the nature of society that we are in. And it's very painful for me particularly to hear about these things. But when I heard the voice of the former vice president of a government which I served, talking about SPVs and slush funds and siphoning money and a clever way to steal, and I asked myself, why is it that some people can do these things with such impunity and nothing happens to them, whilst others would have done nothing at all and everything bad happens to them? This is not the kind of society we want or that we worked for. And I want to say clearly and categorically, and this is, whichever side of the political divide you are on, from that audio tape alone, it is clear that Atiku Abubakar is a criminal. A criminal that should not only be arrested, he should also be jailed. He has brought disgrace and infamy on everything that the Obasanjo government achieved. He has crumbled it. He has made it clear that so many horrendous things were going on behind the scenes. And this is unacceptable to me and to all the other people, both in PDP today and in APC today, that were in any way linked to that administration. So for me, there's a great outrage about this sort of thing. Secondly, I want to make this point, if I may, and I want us to take this very seriously. The safety of the whistleblower is at stake. This is a very serious issue. And I join Festus Keyamo and others, Dele and everybody else on this side of the divide to say, look, nothing must happen to this man. I am aware that one or two individuals that are very close to Atiku Abubakar have gone as far as to suggest that they want to take his life. They're keeping quiet publicly, but behind the scenes, they are shaking like chicken because they know that this is their end. If it had been anybody else in this room, or if it had been our candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whose voice you heard on that audio, by now, you know what would have happened. Let's face it, let's be honest. Every newspaper in this country, it would have been headlined. It would have been on every television station in this country. We would have been lambasted, insulted, and they would have called for his arrest. But there was silence here. Everybody was pretending, everybody was ignoring it. Why? Because it's Atiku. Now I say this finally, that those that believe within Atiku's camp, and again, there's an identifiable person, I don't want to mention his name yet, but I will when the time comes, a businessman, that believe that they have all the security agencies in their pockets because they posted this, that nothing can happen because we have all the security agents in our pockets. Let it be that this is a case that will prove him and them wrong. He's not above the law. I call for his investigation, his invitation, and his prosecution, because others have been prosecuted for doing far less. This is what you call direct evidence. It's not a question of hearsay. Direct evidence. And if he has a defense, let him come and provide the defense. But if nothing happens, and if under this government a man can come out and get away with saying that this is how we stole money, we used SPV, we did this, naming names, naming companies, naming that, naming amounts of money, and he gets away with it, what will the world say about Nigeria? Can this type of man ever be trusted with power in this country? In my view and in the view of all of us here, the answer to that question is no. He's not fit to be president. He's not fit to run as president. And the people around him are even worse criminals than he is. And we have absolutely no fear. And like Festus has said, if what we are saying here will cost us anything, because, you know, this is a very emotional moment for me and for many of us. No matter what it costs us for saying these things against them, it's not just about the campaign anymore. It's about the integrity of our country, and whether or not, as the leading black nation on earth, whether we have decent men that can run for office. They maligned Asiwaju for so long, for so many months. They called him a drug dealer, they called him everything. They said he was mentally unsound, they said this, that, everything. We simply responded forcefully and we stood our ground. Now, a serious allegation has come from their own mouths, a man confessing to criminal acts when he was in power. And you expect us to keep quiet? Let them bring out their brightest and best to defend this one. We're waiting for them. Thank you very much.